Every chapter of Bhagavad-Gita deals with different aspects of our spiritual growth. Essentially, we are all divine, behaving like human. Not that we are humans wanting to discover our divinity. This is a fundamental difference between Sanatana Dharma and all other faiths. All other religious faiths say that we are human wanting to discover divinity in us. That's why they call us sinners. Hey, oh, sinners. Whereas Upanishad addresses first as Amritasya Putraha, oh, the children of the immortality. So if you go to a doctor, obviously you are sick. And he addresses you, oh, sickly person, why are you here? You lose half of your enthusiasm to go to the doctor there itself. How are you? How are you? Fine? No, I'm not fine. Okay, you will be fine. Don't worry about it. So that way, when a person gives a lot of assurance and then looks at what the problem is and solves it, you feel so confident. In the same way, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, first of all, addressing us as what? You are Amrita. You are immortal. And you're thinking that you are immortal. Therefore, that can be overcome. That misunderstanding can be rectified. Ignorance can be removed. Then you will realize this. In the same way, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun was in the battlefield. As you all know the story, I don't need to elaborate that. And he was distraught, dejected, sorrowful, unhappy, unsure, confused about to fight or not to fight, whether fighting is right or not. So when he was like that, that is why the first chapter is known as Arjuna Vishada. Vishada means grief. How Arjuna was in a state of grief. And then Bhagavan, he directly teaches him about the highest. You are the highest truth. You are the supremost. Don't get bogged down by these kind of small little problems of life. You can reach the highest point of bliss, reaching Bhagavan itself. That is how he starts giving him advice. So, we are now in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is known as Bhakti Yoga. Now, all of you go to temples and worship God, different forms of God. Some people go to Shiva temple, some people go to Krishna, some people go to Narayan, Hanumanji. And in Hinduism, we have a variety of them also. Some people go to temple every day, but not the same temple. So Monday, Shiva, Tuesday, Ganesha, Wednesday, Krishna, Thursday, Guru, Friday, Devi or Rama, Saturday, Hanuman, Sunday, Chutti. No, I'm not going in. So now, instead of going many temples, nowadays, one temple has got all of them also. This is called mall of temples. So many different gods are there. But interestingly, Bhagavan Krishna, when Arjuna asked this question, I want to see your original form, who you are, Ishwaraha you are, but what is this Ishwara means? What is this God means? No other scripture in the world has explained this. Because Bhagavan showed his cosmic form. Not cosmetic form. Cosmic form. Meaning he included all gods into himself. All possible gods you can think of. At that time, probably Christ was not there. Otherwise, he would have included that also. All possible gods, Rudra, Varuna, Yama, and then Agnihi, Indra, and those are all Vedic gods. Then he showed Ganesha, Narayana, Shiva, Brahma, all of them in one single huge form, universal form. So Arjuna looked at it. Of course, he could not see it by his eyes. So Bhagavan said, I will give you a divine eye also. Because it is it is somewhere. Otherwise, there is a chair there. So I will give you a Divya Chakshu, divine eyes. And the form is not only in front, all over. It's a, what do you call that? VR. You know, VR, no? When you put a virtual reality, look up, there also it is there. Below, there is also there. Left, there is, it's all. Right? Everywhere. The form of the Lord was all-encompassing, all-pervading. He has covered the entire space. Not only that, not only the space he has covered, even time he has conquered. That is to say, he showed him origin of the universe, and that is a little easy to watch. But he showed the end of the universe also. The pralaya, the destruction, the end of the entire creation. This particular aspect, when it is shown, Arjuna could not stand it, because he could see the entire whole universe going into the mouth of the Lord, everybody. And at that time, Bhagavan says, Arjun, understand, I am the end of everything. Kalosmi jagat apakshakaha. I am the time or the end, devourer of the entire universe. Because it all came from me, and it has to end in me only. This portion alone, the Oppenheimer has taken out. And then, see, this out of context when you take, it is, you cannot explain it. He says, Aham Jagat Pakshakaha. I am the devourer of the universe, I am the death. So this is contextual. I am the creation. That they didn't show that. Only this he will take. See, Krishna also mentioned he is the death. So this is not correct, when they quoted that way. Anyway, so when he saw this cosmic form of the Lord, and then he pleaded to the Lord saying that, enough, please come back to your original form. I cannot stand it anymore, because it is beyond my thinking, beyond anybody's thinking. So come to this original forms. Then Bhagavan again appears the way Arjuna knows him. And at the end of it, he said, nobody has seen this form before. Nobody had been given this opportunity to see. And also, no yajna or no rituals, no karma, and no yoga can reach it there. Only by devotion you can see me this way. Only with the devotion, with the love, when somebody approaches me, I will show them this form. Otherwise, you will not see it. That is the seed mantra or verse for this particular chapter. So Arjun begins a question saying that there are people who are meditating upon you as Brahman. The yogis and great jnanis who are sitting in a solitude, worshipping you as the absolute reality, which has no fame, no name, no form, no attributes, no characteristics, only as Paramatma. In India also, there are many schools of philosophy. One of the school of philosophy is known as Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj people did not have the concept of worshipping God in the form. They were only doing rituals and they were worshipping not any form but meditating on Om. Omkara Roop, Bhagavan. So, there are people who are meditators on the nameless, formless presence of you, and there are people who will worship you in this form, cosmic form, or any particular physical deity, which are famous now. And so many temples are there, so many different deities are there. Even Krishna itself is different forms. If you go to Udupi, there is one form. If you go to Guruvayur, is another form. If you go to Dwaraka, is another form. If you go to Puri, is another form. And go to Vrindavan, is another one. And so many different forms. So, the question raised by Arjuna was, who are the people who are best? Etam satata yuktam ye bhaktastvam paryupasate tesha ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Who are considered by you as the best? The people who worship you without a form or people who worship you with the form? This is a starting point, which actually is true method of worshipping you. This is how it begins. Now, in today's world, we don't have that question. Our question is whether Shiva or Krishna, Vishnu or Ganesha. So that's the question we have. But Arjuna asked the question is what? Whether with the form or without the form. And people who are worshipping the Lord with the form are considered as bhaktas, and those who are worshipping or meditating upon the Bhagavan as Omkara Rupa or Dhyan, about Atman, they were meditating, they are not considered as bhaktas. But here Bhagavan says, both are my devotees only. So, Bhagavan never gives direct answers. He never would say yes or no. So, he says, Maya veshyamano ye mam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetaha te me yukta tamamataha. Arjun, it doesn't matter whether they are worshipping me in a particular form or meditating upon me as their own Paramatma. What is most important is Shraddha, faith. Now, if you take that particular aspect of it, even in a human love, what is most important is the faith. If I say, I love this person, what is most important there? I believe in this person. I trust this person. Right? Without that, you cannot continue with that person. Whether it's husband and wife, or parent and children, or brother and brother, sister and sister, or even boss and the employer-employee. Anywhere you go, this is a must. Without that, you cannot proceed in your life. You buy the tickets for a flight and get into the flight. Do you know who is flying the flight? You go open the cockpit and say, show me your certificates. Are you really a pilot? Or you're just sitting there in front of that autopilot? So you don't. Why? Because you have a belief that when I bought a ticket and when I am getting into the flight, I don't even know who is flying it. Isn't that you must have some faith? You go to the restaurant, you don't go to the kitchen. Better don't go to the kitchen. If you go to the kitchen, you will never eat it. The beautifully decorated plate, they bring it. Oh, very good. But how is it made? You better don't look at it. Here, I think it's better. Yeah. So we have to believe. But there are three things. Trust, belief, and faith. Let us understand these three and then we'll proceed further. Trust is based upon experience. Why do I trust a person? Because I have positive experiences with this person. When you are in a business dealings with people, you need to have the right experience with the right people, then only you can invest on that person's company, or you can buy products from that person, or have a dealing with that particular contract, because you have past experiences proving it to be positive. This is how trust is built up. What you call it, goodwill. In the business world, the goodwill has to be good so that you can continue to deal with that person. Belief is usually because you hear from trusted people, like your own father or mother or your elders, those who told you that, okay, worship this God, do this mantra, go to this temple, or do this kind of traditional rituals. So you did that, not that you know what it is. Most of us, when we grow up, our parents told us, we believed it. But more often than not, people leave it because when they believed and did what they wanted, they did not get it. So you keep changing. Ganesha for some time, I think that is not working. Let's go to somebody else. That's why they have variety. You can choose what you want. So if you are just believing, you will be leaving. Okay, so belief is a short-term trust based upon your trust on the people who has told you to do so. On your own, you don't know. Faith is based upon experimentation. You take it as a belief, but do not blindly go with that. You start experimenting. And when you get positive responses out of what you have believed in, you will build faith. That's why our Swami Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji used to say, faith is believing in something which you do not see. Faith is in believing that which you do not see, only to see what you believe in. It's a journey. You start believing something, and upon experimentation, you experience it as right. Let me give an example. When the science says that sunrise doesn't take place, sunrise and sunset are not true. There's no sunset and sunrise, right? It's only earth is tilting. The sun is not moving anywhere. Now, do you believe or not? How many of you don't believe? No, why do you believe? You've never seen it. Have you seen earth tilting now? Slowly? You are standing and sitting at one place only. It's not tilting. But is it tilting or not? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Of course, in California, we do sometimes. But what you believe in, you have faith in science. How did it come? Because science has experimented on many, many things. And those things are true. Therefore, this also should be true. So we have faith in science, but we don't have faith in Shastra. That's a problem. First of all, we never even experiment it. Only when you start experimenting, you realize what they are saying is correct. First of all, we have to take it into account. Let me look into what it says. Bhagavan Krishna says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Akarya Vyavastitau. What to do and what not to do, Pramana or the means to know it is Shastra. Shastra is not just a book. Shastra is what is in the book. Many times we will not even open the book. I often give this example. So one person said to me, Swamiji, I was told Mahabharata should not be kept at home because it will bring jagda among the brothers, among the cousin brothers. Because the story is about that. So Mahabharata should not keep it at home. So I said, if on that account, you should not keep Ramayana also. Why? Because your wife will be kidnapped. So that person said, is it? That's bad. So, see, Gita also people keep, but never read it. And when do you know when they read? Somebody's dead. To the person who is dying, okay, well, I'll read Gita for you. Hurry, that person is dying. It is not for the dead, it is for the living. Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji used to say, Gita is not for the dead, it is for the people who are living. How to live. So, coming back to our point, trust is based upon experiences. Belief is based upon trusting those people who told you to do so. And faith is on experimentation, your own experimentation. See, if you tell your child, don't go near the fire, it will burn you, does he believe you or not? You won't. I'm telling you. One day he will go. Now nobody needs to tell anymore. He would know for sure. I don't need to. When mom says, fire is hot, I know, mom. Now I know. Why? Because I've experimented it. So faith is that which is born out of personal experience. And it's a journey. So Bhagavan, what he says here, Maya Veshita Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasade Shraddhaya Paraya Upetaha. Those who have got the highest faith, and because of which they keep their mind in me, whether I am in the form or without a form, they may yukta tamamadaha. They are the best. So who's a real devotee? Doesn't matter whether he is worshipping a form or meditating upon the formless. What is most important is the faith. He believes completely and experiments on his belief, only to arrive at the result of experience. The experimentation proves the experience, and thereafter you will never go back. That is called Shraddha. And in that context, Bhagavan says, I know it is difficult for people to meditate, think about me all the time. So, in our tradition, Hindu tradition, not only we go to a temple to worship God, we also have a corner of your own home. Some people, the room is not sufficient. They keep on adding more and more and more and more and more and more and more. But at least in some houses, they have a small area where they keep their personal deity, family deity, etc. So the concept of going to a temple is also there, but more often it is Bhagavan is brought to the home. In South India especially, most of the festivals are celebrated at home only. How often you celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi in a temple? How often you celebrate even Navaratri in a temple? See, this concept of worshipping in a temple came much later. Most of us have grown up, when we are growing up, we have done all at home only. So, this is because we have the concept of personal deity, family deity, which is not the case with most of the Semitic religions. The church is important. And you have to go to the church. Otherwise, you are not a Christian. You have to go to the dargah. Otherwise, you are not a Muslim. You have to go to the synagogue. Otherwise, you are not a Jewish. So you have to become a member of the church or the member of a synagogue. Then only you are considered as a practitioner. But in Hinduism, like that, which temple has got a database? Nowadays they have, but which temple has got a database of people? And anybody can walk in. And whether they want to go or not, is also no compulsion. So in Hinduism, it believed in personal deity. That is, each one, it can choose what particular form of God we want to worship, what prayers and prayers are also a variety of them. Not only just prayers, as she sang, so many compositions, so many kirtanas, so many mantras, so many things are there. So it's endless amount of choices. But Bhagavan says, whatever you do, whether you are chanting mantras or singing the praise of the God as kirtan, what is important is your mind with me or not? So, Bhakta-lakshana he gives here, Mayyeva mana adatsva, Mayi buddhim niveshaya. Keep your mind in me only. Keep your buddhi is also in me only. The difference between mind and buddhi must be understood. Mind is always oscillating. It will say something, it will contradict itself. Again, it is like the 1st of January. I want to do my exercise, I want to diet and all those things. I've taken a resolution to do that. January 2nd. Resolution become dissolution. Resolve become dissolved. The same mind only. The mind that says that I want to do dieting and exercise, the same mind next day, I'm very young. I think when I get old, I will do it. I'm just 70. So this mind, it is capable of, sankalpa, vikalpa. Sankalpa, vikalpa. It takes sankalpa and vikalpa. It goes opposite to that. That is the nature of the mind. Whereas buddhi is, on the other hand, decisive. If I have taken a decision, that is where I'm going to stick. So we have two aspects of our personality. Bhagavan says, keep both in mind. In me, Mayyeva mana adatsva, Mayi buddhim niveshaya. Then what will happen to you if you keep your mind and buddhi in me? Nivasishyasi mayyeva adavurdvam na samshaya. Then you will stay with me only forever. There is no doubt in this. This is simple, straightforward. Who is a bhakta? A bhakta is one who can effortlessly put the mind in the Lord. For us, it is such an effort to our mind. Even though we keep the picture of the Lord everywhere. I don't know, it's a new option. You put terrible things in front of me. So I was looking at it. Bhagavan Shiva, maybe, I don't know. The bull may be representing Shiva there. So forms of God we put in different places only to remind ourselves, our mind should be remembering the Lord. Mayyeva mana adatsva, Mayi buddhim niveshaya. See, traditionally we put the pictures of Bhagavan in every room, at least one. Nowadays in some houses I see, they put the picture of grandchildren, every pose of it. Standing, sitting, lying down, bending. That is okay. Dog also. This is another one. Kya kare? Bhagavan to sochte nahi. Bhagavan says, keep your mind in me, then you will remain in me only. So that is the lakshana of a bhakta. His mind is not having to put no effort to remember the Lord. Because his mind is always there. Like it is said that one of the examples, some of you may correct, may consider right, but they may not. So when Mahatma Gandhi said when he was shot, what was he saying? Hey Ram. Why he was able to say that? Because he was always thinking about it. So one teacher was a person who was very agnostic. He said, they say that Gandhi, when he was shot, he said, hey Ram. I don't think he did that. It's all cooked up story. So then one boy got up and said, no, he did say that. Young boy. No, how do you know? You also read it somewhere, no? As much as I also read. I didn't see. No, he said Ram. How do you know? I don't know, but I'm sure he did that. So the teacher said, "You are so sure. How can you prove it to me? I don't need to prove. When I go to heaven, I will ask him." So he said, "How do you know that Gandhiji went to heaven?" He might have gone to hell. Then the boy said, "Then you ask." Anyway, so point is, how is that the last minute he was able to say? Bhagavan says, "Andakalepi chamam smaran muktva kalevaram yak prayadi samaran bhavam prayadi paramam gatim." Meaning, he the one who is even the last minute also if he thinks about me. Andakale api chamam smaran muktva kalevaram prayadi paramam gatim. Whoever thinks even the last minute, but we do not know which is the last minute. Nobody, my Emma doesn't give you an email and then come. You will not even send a text message before he comes. So we do not know which is the last minute. Also, what will you think of the last minute if you have never thought of it before? So, remembrance of the Lord should not become an effort. So that's why in our tradition they said, keep the name of the Lord always in your mind. It is said that Hanumanji was able to cross the entire ocean without any effort. You know how? Because he kept the name of the Lord in his mouth, like in the ring that was given to him, he was holding it in his mouth. So therefore, he was able to cross even the mighty ocean with the name of the Lord. Jaladi langigaya acharajanahi. I mean, he just crossed over because he kept the name in his tongue. So mayeva mana adatsva. So Bhagavan Krishna is so compassionate. He says, if you are not able to keep your mind in me, so he says, Ada chittam samadhatum nashaknoshi mayi stiram. Ata, in case, chittam, your mind, samadhatum mayi, stiram samadhatum nashaknoshi. If you are not able to keep your mind steadily in me, what you should do? First thing is, if you keep your mind in me, definitely you are going to be with me. No doubt about this. Yeah, that is a true characteristic or nature of a bhakta, devotee. But if in case you are not able to do that, then abhyasa yogena tataha mamichaptum dhananjaya. Then you do abhyas, practice. So the practice will slowly make you capable of remembering the Lord effortlessly. See, anything that we have learned in our life, it is by practice. If you have learned to sing, it's because of practice. If you are learned able to play music, that is practice. If you're able to cook the proper food, that is out of practice. Suddenly, one morning you did not get up and start. Everything comes after so many experimentations, so many times you have done, some mistakes you did, then your husband tolerated that and then went on and on and on. Finally, you came to some point where it is tolerable. Then your husband said, now you can call people. Otherwise, they will all suffer like I did. So anything, whether it's cooking or driving a vehicle or singing a song or anything that we have done is out of practice. Now, the difference between practice and habit, you should remember. Habit is not a practice. Habit is a repetitive action without putting any conscious effort on it. And habit always creates addiction. I am addicted to coffee because I have a habit of drinking coffee, let us say. What does it mean? I'm practicing drinking coffee. Nobody practices drinking coffee. Coffee has become a part of my life, and I would mindlessly, unconsciously, habitually go for it. Whereas dancing or learning music is not a habit, it is a conscious engagement only to improve every time you do it. So that is the difference between abhyasa and स्वभाव. स्वभाव जैसा ही होता है, इसका उसका वो प्रयत्न नहीं करना चाहिए. वो अभ्यास के लिए आप प्रयत्न करना ही होगा. You have to put effort. So Bhagavan says, if you are not able to keep your mind in me, abhyas karo. So some people say, abhyas bhi katin hai, katta hai. So Bhagavan says, if even practice is difficult for you, then abhyasebhya samartosi mat karma paramo bhava madartamapi karmani kurman siddhim avapsyasi. If keeping your mind in me is difficult and you can't even practice it, then do those actions which are related to me. Remind me again and again. That will remind you about me again and again. It is said that Navavidha Bhakti is there. It's said Bhagavatam also. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Shakyam, Atmanivedanam, Iti Navavidha Bhakti. These are all related to Bhagavan. Listen to the stories related to Bhagavan. Sing the glory of the Lord. Remember the Lord. Do the seva, pada seva of the Lord. Do the archana or the worship of the Lord. And then do the upasana of the Lord. And then, that is archanam, vandanam, dasyam. Be a servant of the Lord. Take Lord as your friend. And finally surrender to Him. These practices, take it up one by one. Then that will lead you to easily remember me. It is like a first time when you become a mother, it is hard because you never got used to, taking care of a child. That's why nowadays I was told in the school, they already started to give the practices to the children, I don't know whether they are doing right now. So they used to give a kind of a pet and then you have to feed him or this and that. And then over a period of time, you get used. I don't know whether they were doing it anymore. Nowadays, everything is, in the online. That is not. Because physically, when you take care of someone 24 hours a day, think. So, in the beginning stage, it is difficult. The second child, I know what to do with this guy. The third one, it grows on its own. I don't need to bother. See, now in this today's world, even two children, we are so much exhausted. Think about our grandparents, they had some 18, 16, 13, 14 of them. They don't even know the names. What is the seventh child's name? Who remembers? I call him seven. Because afterwards, it's just easy. It's okay. They're there around. So in the beginning stages, it is difficult, no doubt. So, but if you take up kirtanam, shravanam, kirtanam, smaranam, ityadi, then it will become easy to practice. And out of practice, you can keep the mind in the Lord. Somebody says, yeah, that is also difficult. See, Bhagavan is so compassionate, even if that is also difficult. Ate datapyashaktosi kartum matyogamashritah sarva karma palatyagam tadakuryatatmavan. If doing actions related to me is also difficult for you, then do any action that you do. Give up the results. So do actions, no doubt, but don't get attached to the results. He says, Bhagavan ke liye kar raha hu. Whatever I do, result is Bhagavan's grace. It is by the blessings of the Lord alone I am able to get this. Don't indulge in it. First, it is offered to the Lord. That's why we call it as do the prasad first and before you take it. Right? It is for Bhagavan ke liye. So anything that you prepare, like a food that you prepare, you offer to him first. In the same way, all actions should be considered as Bhagavan ke liye kar raha hu, and whatever he gives is what I take. This you practice. So this way, Bhagavan in Bhagavad-Gita gives a very clear understanding to us. What is the lakshana of a bhakta? What is the quality of a bhakta? Bhakta-lakshana-bodhakaayai Namah. So, this is the one topic. Second topic is, again, as we started from the beginnings, that some people are worshipping formful Lord, some people are worshipping the formless one. What is the difference and where is the difference? Therefore, the topic is Saguna-nirguna-prakaashinyai Namah. Reveals to us what is Saguna Upasana and what is Nirguna Upasana. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you Sagun or Nirguna? Are you a person with qualities, characteristics or not? When you look at yourself as a body, you are a Saguna Rupa only. Because I have a body, I have a human body, I'm a female or a male. So all those characteristics of the physical body, you consider that is you. Correct? Okay. When you go to the state of dream, then what happens? In your dream, are you male or female? You're not taking this body with you when you're dreaming. You can take any form you want. Sometimes no form also. And worst thing is, when you go to sleep, you have no form. You've given up your physical attachment, everything. Is it not true? Your house also you gave up. Every day we do that. Every day when we go to sleep, what do? We give up the world. We give up our husband, wife, children, house, property, everything is given up. Then only you get Paramashanti. When you are sleeping, not only you are peaceful, because of you, others are also peaceful. Because you are not there to, arrogate yourself. So actually, the soul has no guna. Soul is no gender. It is no particular form, male or female. You're not even human. Forget about male or female. Not even human. It is only pulsating life. A soul has no particular name or a form or a gender or the characteristic or qualities. It is only the Paramatma's Rupam associated with certain, what you call as vasanas. That is impressions of the past experiences. And because of the impressions of the past experiences, we are still away from the Bhagavan. So in Vedanta, what we see, what is the difference between Paramatma and Jivatma? Essentially, both are the same, Atman only. Paramatma has no attributes, qualities. Jivatma has got the qualities of past experiences, karma vasana. That's all the difference. Now, therefore, who is a Saguna Bhakta and who is a Nirguna Bhakta? That was the question raised by Arjuna. He says, Yet sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyeneva yogena mam dhayanta upasate. So, those who are able to have a particular form of God in their mind and then doing everything for that particular form of God, which they worship in their own mind, they are called Saguna Bhaktas. So what is the result of Saguna Bhakta or worship of God? Highest result is Mukti. Meaning from all the dukkhas that we are experiencing in this samsara, is no more. That is called moksha. We must understand the word moksha correctly. Moksha is not going somewhere. Many people think we go to some Vaikuntha Loka or Shiva Loka or some Loka, that is called moksha. Many people, rituals definitely talk about that. When you do these rituals, you get punya and you go to some Loka and then experience everything, but again come back only. There's no permanent visa there. You're not even green card. It's only visitor visa. You go for some 6 months and come back. So, what is mukti on the other hand? Release from the entire cycle of birth and death. That is called mukti. Some people don't understand this. So, once I was giving a lecture on one person, after the lecture, he came to me and said, Swamiji, I have decided. What is that you decided? Mukti bhi chahiye, kuch aur nahi chahiye. अच्छा ठीक है आप दे दो मेरे पास नहीं है I cannot give you. No, आपने बता. You said that you the mukti, so you give me that. I said I will give you, provided you tell me what it is. अरे कुछ भी हो तो आप दे दो. So this is the way blindly people, So moksha is Bhagavan only can give you if you worship him. If you are a nirguna bhakta, then you can claim it. So Bhagavan makes this difference very clearly. If you are a worshipper of God, then that particular worship and the particular God that you are worshipping is capable of giving you moksha. For example, he says, those people who are worshipping me like this, etu sarvani karmani, mayi sanyasya matparaha, ananyenaiva yogena, mam dhyayanta upasade, teshamaham samuddarta mrityu samsara sagarat, bhavami nachirat partha maya aveshita chetasam. For those people who are worshipping me in this way, keeping their mind in me, I will become a deliverer of them from this huge ocean of samsara. I will rescue them. Whereas those people who are worshippers of God as their own Paramatma, I don't need to do anything. They will find out. So he says, Etvakshara manirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasade sarvatra gamachintyam cha Kutastam achalam dhruvam sanniyam endriya gramam viniyamya samantadaha sarvatra samabuddhayaha te prapnuvanti mam eva sarvabhuta gite rataha. Such people who are worshipping me as their own Atman, I don't need to do anything. They will discover it themselves. But it is hard. See, we always need a support to uplift ourselves, to raise ourselves from the human to divine. It is possible without a support also, but that requires an enormous amount of concentration, meditation, and one-pointed attention upon who you are. Jnanam helps you. Whereas most people require an external support, then only they can proceed. It is like this. If I ask you to jump, how much away from the earth you will become? For a few seconds, you may be probably some few inches. But if I have a rope hanging from the top and ask you, climb up with the help of the rope, and when you climb up with the help of the rope, you can be away from the earth for a longer time. Is it not? Because you are holding on to something. Of course, if you leave it, you will come back again. In the same way, those who are able to hold on to Bhagavan's feet, thinking about the Lord, easily can stay away from the janjat of the world. For us, ourselves, to withdraw from that and make our mind peaceful and to remain in the Paramatma Nishta is not that easy. Especially if we are constantly thinking of ourselves to be the body. Kleshodhi gatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehavadviravapyade. Those who are thinking that they are the physical body, for them to meditate upon Nirguna Brahman is not easy. So therefore, Bhagavan at the end says, therefore Arjun, keep your mind in me. That is the easiest way. And I told you, if you can't keep your mind in me, then what you do? Abhyasa, practice. If you can't do the prayers also, then do actions related to me. Shravanam, Kirtanam, listen to the stories and listen the glories of the Lord. Do the upasana, puja, and then think of it, repeat the name of the Lord, mantra japa, and all that you do. Even that you can't do. No, I'm very busy in my world. For me, the work is important. Okay, do your work, but always remember the Lord as the one who is the first recipient of whatever you get. And then with this permission only, you take your share of the profit. So this is the way Bhagavan explains what is Saguna and what is Nirguna. And finally he says, Yetu dharmyamritamidam yatoktam paryupasate shraddhaya parayopeta sattadhanam atparamaha bhaktaste ativa me priyaha bhaktaha, those who are following this various characteristics of the bhaktas also. He actually mentions 33 different characteristics of the my bhakta devotee. First one is Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. I'm just giving you all the 33. You don't need to remember. But first one is, he says, he doesn't hate anybody in this world. This is a characteristic of my devotee. Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. Second one is, he is a mitra of everybody, friend. Then Karunaha, one who is compassionate. Nirmamaha, who does not have any idea of possession. Nirahankaraha, one who does not have any ego with him. Samadukkaha, he is same in Sukham and Dukkam, joy and sorrow. Kshami is an extremely tolerant, patient person. Santushta Sadadam, always content. Yada Atma, he is self-controlled, self-mastered. Dhrida Nishchayaha, meaning one who is very determined about what he does. Mayarpita Manobhuti, he has kept his mind and intellect always in me. And Yasman Udvijate Lokaha, because of whom the world is not disturbed. Then he is the one who is not disturbing the world. Neither he gets disturbed by the world, nor he disturbs the world. Then when there is a harsha, amarsha, bhaya, udvegehi muktaha, he is not disturbed by joy, sorrow, fear, any of the other things. Those things which are constantly happening in our life, he is free of them. Anapekshaha, expecting nothing from the world. Then Shuchihi, pure within and outside. Dakshaha, excellent in what he does. Udasinaha, he is always above all circumstances. Gatavyataha, devoid of agitation. Sarvaramba Parityagi, he has given up all personally related activities, selfish activities. Na Hrishyati, he is not too excited. Na Dveshti, he is not hateful. Na Shochati, he is not grieving. Na Kankshati, he is not greedy. Shubha Ashubha Parityagi, he gives up whatever is Shubha and Ashubha, good and bad. Samaha Shatrocha Mitrecha, he is same to his friend and enemy. And also Mana Apamana, also in honor and dishonor. Then Shida Ushna Sukha, he is same in heat, cold, etc. And he is Sangha Vivarjita, he is not too attached to people. Tulya Nindastati, he is same whether he is praised or insulted. Mauni, he is always in great silence. Santushta ena kenachita, whatever comes to his mind, he is happy with that. Aniketaha, without any particular place to dwell. Stiramadihi, mind is steady. 33 qualities. Bhagavan narrates all of them. If you have all of them, you are my devotee. So go on, one even difficult for me. Santushti itself is not there. Satisfaction in our life is absent. What to talk of everything else? If you have to ask yourself, am I satisfied? You may say, just now I had dinner, okay. That is not Santushti. There is always a gap in us. I want this, without that I'm unhappy. Once that is done, one more, and then another one. There is no end to wants. So these are all the qualities of my devotees. If you come to see, that is why many people think wearing a chandan and then going to the mala, putting a rudraksha mala is bhakta. How gross that has become. People think where people wearing huge rudraksha mala and then so on, bhakta. See, if bhakta is an attitude, it's a loving attitude, not only towards Bhagavan, to all his creation. A bhakta, a devotee of the Lord, cannot even think of hurting someone. Forget about doing an action. He would not utter a word which will hurt another. Bhagavan says very clearly, first quality of a person is what? Adveshta sarva bhutana. उसमें कोई द्वेष नहीं है किसी के पास. Even that quality, if we take up, it will change your life. I hate none, irrespective of caste, color, creed, whatever it is. I hate none. Not even one word of or one thought of hatred in my mind. Then you are a bhakta. So this fine-tuning our own personality, come to a point of such fine character. And that's what we see in Mahatmas, great devotees. They lived and proved and demonstrated to us what a real devotion is. So that is where we need to proceed. Not externalities of, physical and then some external characteristics of a devotee which makes everybody feel good about it. See, if I wear a white coat and put a stethoscope, can I become a doctor? Tell me. I can be. You will be in trouble. Just because I put a white shirt and a black coat, can I become a lawyer? I can be a liar, but cannot be a lawyer. You know why they wear white dress and a black coat? White means I know what is true. Black means I won't tell you. That's a lie. But if a person, just because he's wearing a white coat, he cannot become a doctor. But even without wearing a white coat, if he's a doctor, he can be, sometimes in the in the flight also, somebody is not feeling well, is there any doctor? They won't look for a white coat. Right? So the external aspect of it should not be taken too seriously. Many people focus only on that. So Bhagavan makes clear in Bhagavad-Gita, who is my devotee? So when we understand this, then that's why Bhagavad-Gita is considered as the mother who gives the correct direction to us to think. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkhabhat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.